What's up, everybody? This is the Nerd Cave Newz, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined with, rumors say, there is a detective with a unique advantage. He has telekinetic abilities. Using his mind, he can move objects and manipulate his surroundings. He keeps his powers hidden, though, using them only to solve crimes that baffle the conventional methods. Whether it's retrieving evidence from hard-to-reach places or subtly influencing the environment to gather clues, telekinesis proves invaluable in cracking all of his cases. However, he must be careful not to reveal his secret, navigating the fine line between justice and maintaining his anonymity. As he continues to use his extraordinary abilities to fight crime, he becomes a force to be reckoned with in the world of law enforcement. He is Maxwell Mind Reach Stone.
Very detailed. Very detailed and a great name to boot. But now where does it rank?
Where does it rank, Derek?
Because we have, this will be our fourth name. And first off, we've got Marconius Dracon, the Great Wizard, Captain Silverstride, and Kaka McGraw. Oh, it's definitely better than 2 and 3. But is it better than Marconius Dracon?
I don't
know. I'm going to say, because while I do like a good exposition, I feel like it was a tad too long. Just a hair. So I'm going to put that as my new number 2.
Number 2 it is. Well, Maxwell Mind Reach Stone, welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Let us know how you're doing down in the chat below. I'm getting a message real quick.
Oh, Lord.
It's what is oh my God. Are you serious? Are you sure? Are you certain? Are you certain? Okay. Maxwell Mind Reach Stone is none other than the Globetrotting, the nonstop action man himself, John Stevenson, guys.
You're trying to do the Ric Flair bit. I could tell.
John Stevenson, like every week. I don't know how he keeps getting on this list, guys, but John Stevenson.
Guys, just letting you know, today is a very special day. It is definitely a special day here at the Nerd Cave. It is Helldivers 2 launch day, guys. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. I'm excited because, Sony was like, Zach, we know how important Helldivers is to you because you used to play it on the Vita. You love the Vita. And now we mismanaged the Vita. We claim that. Shu called me up today. He's like, happy birthday, Zach. Helldivers 2 is for you. So thank you, Shu. Full of grace. Unlike my co-host, full of grace over here. Full of grace.
I'll say nothing else momentous is going on today. It's just Helldivers 2 launch day.
Yeah. Guys, thank y'all for the happy birthdays. Thank y'all so much. And yeah.
So, but seriously, happy birthday, my brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
We got you a timeshare at the nursing home.
Thanks, man. I'm glad I can take some time off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can take some time off. That's the biggest thing. It's like if I get a timeshare at the nursing home, like I get food, I get room, like
you get a sponge bath.
Don't even have to bathe myself. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Derek, I've got to ask. What are you playing currently?
Well, I can finally take nothing off the board. I've been playing. I finally got the gumption to download and start playing Hogwarts Legacy. So
how are you liking it?
I definitely like the fact that I could create my own wizard.
Yeah.
I named them. My name starts with a D, so I gave it like a proper English name, Dudley. But then I gave it the surname is to honor the late great Alan Rickman, so I gave
Mm.
him the last name Rickman. So
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it, man.
always. Uh,
Um.
and the only thing, like, I like how I like I told you Friday when I started. It starts the intrigue from the jump, man.
Mm,
It just is like, all right, sets you up. You're meeting the professor, and you're going off to Hogwarts. You're starting a little late, late bloomer, but and then it just is like you're on the way there, and then boom, something happens, and then it's like,
yeah.
okay, what is this? And like the first little bit, like the puzzle solving, I think, and like the combat is pretty good so far. Only thing is like, and maybe it's like an upgrade later because I haven't gotten to like the skill tree part of the game.
Mm.
But I don't like the fact that you have to sit there and tap to use the basic blast of your wand. Like you just can't hold it and just let it like keep firing.
Yeah, that's not an upgrade. I'll go ahead and tell you that.
Of course. But the way you learn the spells is intriguing, and like because it's actually like the wand motions that for the symbol you go around. And then you get to Hogwarts. I like the headmaster's name, like the lineage, and then the Professor McGonagall, essentially of Hogwarts. I like all like the lore they play into it. The castle is massive. I know. I just went to Hogsmeade. I finished my first day at Hogwarts. Nice little fun mini games that they threw at you there. Now I've done some side quests. Some of them, there was one that was pretty intriguing that I wonder if it's going to have ramifications. I do wonder if there is like a morale system because it kind of seems like it plays with it, but I haven't seen any consequences yet.
There is, in a way, but not like your normal morale system. Like,
okay.
You literally are just murking people left and right later on. Like, you can learn all the dark magic stuff, and no one bats an eye. No one bats an eye. So there's not like a true morale system. Like, you'll get like a stern, but that's really about it. Like, you don't like... There's no like corruption on your body or anything like that, per se.
Got you. Okay. The only complaint I have so far is the loot system. Like I'm all for getting stats, but I feel like some of it's like a little, because I picked up one that was like an Azkaban mouth guard, and it just makes me look like Hannibal Lecter. And I've got it changed now, thank goodness. I found something, but like some of it feels just unnecessary, like having a hat, like having like gloves on your hand, like just upgrade like a robe and a scarf and like, glasses or whatever, and like a different wand with different abilities, whatnot. That to me would have been nice, but you don't have to do all this extra headgear. So
yeah, like it is very looter heavy, where like you'll have something and then like 2 minutes later, like you've got another piece of gear that is way better. The transmog on the game is nice because once you have something, you can make it look like whatever. Like if you've had something else. So that's nice because I hate a mismatched character. I like my character to be very put together and everything. So that's something that's really nice. But yeah, like just get ready. It is very loot heavy throughout the game. The thing, like the castle is awesome. I love the castle. I need to go back and finish it. I'm close to the end of Hogwarts Legacy, but I definitely did enjoy my time with it. I do want to go back, but it's not on my list at the moment to jump into and everything. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad you're finally in it. I know that was something that you wanted to play from last year. We had discussed on the show and everything. So I'm glad you're finally getting into it.
I know. Dip my toes. I have to ask, what house did you end up going to?
Guess.
Gryffindor.
No.
Hufflepuff?
No.
Slytherin?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ambitious, baby.
Well, so, now was that the first choice that the Sorting Hat gave you, or did you override it?
No, I knew how to play the system to get Slytherin.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's pretty obvious, like what you need to answer and everything. But
Yeah.
like I tend to toe the line between Slytherin and Gryffindor. You know, I'm kind of like Harry Potter on that end of things. But yeah, I went Slytherin because my favorite wizard of all time, Slughorn, is from Slytherin. So you know, people
Fair
are like,
enough.
who's Slughorn? Cornelius Slughorn. He was the potions master.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Order of the Phoenix, right?
yes,
Yep.
yeah. Amy, now don't you commit murder anymore, Johnny. Yeah, toe the line. I am very Slytherin, you know, very ambitious. So guys, drop your games in the chat, what you're playing right now. Dan coming in with some heart-wrenching over here. His power supply on his PC went out, so no PC games until that gets fixed. That stinks, man. Hopefully you don't have to get like a super expensive power supply. Hopefully it's like a lower like wattage that you need, because once you hit like over 1,000 watts, it gets expensive. Yeah. And if you've got EVGA, check your warranty, because EVGA is really, really good on their warranty stuff. So check that out, Dan, and see where your warranty is on all of that. Brandon, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Luckily it's still under warranty. Perfect. Hopefully like that gets turned around quickly, because I know sometimes it's like it's under warranty but they drag their feet. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. But yeah, so for me, played some Power World on Tuesday. I caught a big woolly mammoth. Like, dude, you
caught the Pallaswine?
Yeah, like, dude, this thing is like level 35. I'm a level 18.
Oh, right? Wow.
And me and Nate are like running through the woods. Two of these things are fighting each other. And I just start throwing Pokeballs at them. I just like keep throwing Pokeballs. It failed. And then the one I'm trying to catch dies. The other one is like weaker. So I'm like, all right, we got to book it before we die. And Nate's like, no, let's just keep going. So like we're fighting it. And I just start throwing Pokeballs at this one. And then Derek, it catches it. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out because, you know, I got this thing that I shouldn't have at this level and everything. So been playing that. Sea of Stars. I've got about 4 more chapters in it. Okay. And dude, it's pulling at the heartstrings. It is pulling at the heartstrings over here, man. Like it, I'm not going to give anything away for the people that want to play it. Like, guys, Sea of Stars is amazing. If you are looking for an RPG, I know I say this almost every week. It is so good. I'm glad that I'm getting close to the end, because yeah, I do want to play some other things, but man, I have enjoyed every second of this game. And it is, again, like after the first 9 hours, I know that sounds like a lot of time, but like it picks up pace super fast, which is kind of crazy. But like it's just been going at a really nice clip. I wish the first half of the game was a little bit faster. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Sea of Stars, and then Power World. I've just been like playing on my Steam Deck, not my Steam Deck, my Backbone. And it's been really nice to just be able to sit on the couch and just play. So, but I am looking forward to jumping into some Helldivers. Let me just say. Yeah, I know, man. I'm looking forward to it. I saw a lot of people like streaming it. I'm like, I'm gonna just wait. I want to experience it all, all on when I get on Tuesday. We'll be playing with Yugi, which I'm really excited.
Ooh,
I think
I forgot about
Murdoch might be joining us as well. And you know, this weekend, Derek, Sea of Thieves open beta.
You mean Skull and Bones?
Yeah, that one too. Yeah, so I'm very curious to see. I don't know if I'll do the beta this weekend, just because I'd rather play something else. But if it comes out, I literally was telling Amy, I was like, maybe they'll push it back so I don't have to play it.
Or just, well, I would say cancel it, but Singapore government has already overruled that.
They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Dan says, yeah, my PC was made by CyberPower PC, so I'm sending it to them, but I'm told it will be at least 15 days after sending it off. Ah, man, that stinks. Welcome in.
What up, Michael?
Michael, how you doing, buddy?
Glad
Nate,
you're here.
welcome in. Howdy and happy birthday. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. How are you? How's the fam jam? So, guys, y'all put what you've been playing down in the chat, or Rooney, because we are going to get into the show proper. So here we go.
But before that, just, another announcement too. After the show, we're all going to meet at Zach's house and give him floggings, one for each year that old that he is.
Okay.
So just flog you.
If y'all can find me, go ahead.
I don't know where you live, sir.
If y'all can find me. Guys, this week in gaming, Disney flexes their wallet, Microsoft wants games on other platforms, and PlayStation shows off Final Fantasy Rebirth for the final time before its release. This episode of the Nerd Cave News is brought to you by the Epic Games Store, where you can support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout. Also by Coffee Brain Coffee and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later, because now it is time for the gaming discussion, and my gosh, everything in the world has been going on this week. So first up,
right.
Disney invests $1.5 billion with a B in Epic Games. New Disney-themed Fortnite experience has been revealed.
So Disney is investing a whopping $1.5 billion with a B in Epic Games for an equity stake in the company, and will partner with the Fortnite creator to create what Epic Games is calling, quote, an expansive and open game and entertainment universe connected to Fortnite. This is a huge investment in Epic and arguably Disney's single biggest investment in the game space, particularly because it's all going to one giant studio. Quote, our exciting new relationship with Epic Games will bring together Disney's beloved brands and franchises with the hugely popular Fortnite in a transformational new games and entertainment universe, said Disney Chief Executive Bob Iger. This marks Disney's biggest entry ever into the world of games and offers significant opportunities for growth and expansion. We can't wait for fans to experience the Disney stories and worlds they love in groundbreaking new ways. Players have already seen multiple Disney characters join the ever-growing multiverse that is Fortnite, and with Fortnite's latest evolution of having entirely different games and experiences built within Fortnite, this partnership makes a lot of sense. A trailer to go along with the announcement even gives fans a tease as to what they might see from this new, all Disney-related Fortnite experience. Quote, Disney was one of the first companies to believe in the potential of bringing their worlds together with ours in Fortnite, and they use Unreal Engine across their portfolio, said Epic boss Tim Sweeney. Now we're collaborating on something entirely new to build a persistent, open, and ecosystem that will bring together the Disney and Fortnite communities. So the first thing that jumps to my mind is, like, are they going to create the new map in Fortnite or a new map in Fortnite? Will that be just completely like a Disney World theme? And you got to think they're going to be bringing a ton of like anything that Disney owns, like those skins will be in Fortnite for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like if you think about it, they already had put out the Lego thing, and this is very interesting because Disney's not doing the greatest right now financially,
right?
So like this is like a twist for sure. I'm seeing what they've got. If they've got like, okay, so they do. I'm gonna share this while we talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they do have the Lego experience, which a lot of people have played and enjoyed and everything. So I'm curious where this will go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Derek. Like, this is a huge investment for.
But I mean, it makes sense from a business standpoint because Fortnite is so huge, and like it is the only thing that has lasted, like that is dominated consistently over the battle royale space, and now it's like you can't even say it's a battle royale anymore because it's adding new genres to the mix. It's just like what they said. It's pretty much like a Fortnite gaming universe.
Yeah.
My thing is like, what do you think they'll add? Like, they got to add more game modes, right? Like they're gonna do like I said, a Disney World theme. Like they're gonna have a Star Wars theme thing, a Marvel theme thing, a Pixar
Well,
theme.
it's like if you look at this right here, let me back it
like
up.
that pretty much gives it away.
Yeah, like you've got like the normal Disneyland in the middle.
Yeah.
You've got Marvel, Lucasfilm, ESPN is in here as
Oh
well.
yeah.
And then you've got the Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. You've got Cars down here, Wreck-It Ralph,
Right.
Star Wars, more Marvel. I'm assuming that's like Tron. That's Lilo and Stitch over here. You got more Star Wars. Like, there's so much. You've got Never Neverland down here.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's so much in this that, like, I know people. I literally see Dan's comment in here. It's like, I already don't care about Fortnite. Adding Disney to the mix ain't gonna draw me in. And I feel like, you know, this is like one of those things that there are so many young people playing this game, and there's people like our age as well, but it's like you look at it and there are just so many people playing it. It's money. It's literally money printing right here.
It is. And now that being said, now granted, yes, it is money being printed. Do you think Disney, obviously you can make the case it's like, oh, they're smarter with their deals, like especially after basically being freelance with all these other studios to let like Insomniac make Spider-Man, you know, Eidos Montreal making Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I know that's more Marvel stuff, but we saw Disney make like a long-term investment before with EA and they floundered it. Do you think that Disney has learned their lessons from that and that's why they waited so long to make an investment? Because, you know, they could have, when Fortnite was at its apex, when it was just a battle royale, Disney could have jumped in way soon. But do you think they played it smart here by investing in it now for what it is and what they're trying to do?
Did they invest in EA?
Well, remember, it was more like the Star Wars plan. You know what I mean?
Okay, like, so I feel like that's different though than what's happening.
It is, but I mean, it's all under the Disney umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still part of the family.
The thing that Disney is really good at is seeing something that is successful and either getting it all or getting investment in it because they want guaranteed money.
Right.
Star Wars, Marvel, streaming services, like they're really good at looking and be like, that's something that's working, let's buy this, or let's get a big majority share out of it and everything. This is like them doing that because they've seen Fortnite has not dwindled. It has only gotten bigger. It's only grown. It's only gained. And they have a working relationship because they've had Marvel, Star Wars in there. They've had so many different characters go into Fortnite. And it's like, okay, we've had good relationships with them. They've treated our characters well. It is like a shooter, but it's not like violent. There's not blood or anything like that in the game. And now with Epic and Fortnite creating new experiences that aren't necessarily the normal Fortnite gameplay loop, it's like, okay, this could be something. And then seeing Lego, what they've done with that, it's like, okay, this could be like Disney Infinity. I remember them going really big on Disney Infinity and everything. And it's like Disney has wanted to be in the gaming space because they see how lucrative it is and everything. And they've seen how well, you know, Spider-Man is done, or, you know, Guardians didn't do that well as a game, but they see how gaming can be done well. So I think this is just them looking at it. It's like, this is successful and we know we can make money off of this. This isn't EA per se, because it's not an investment with them that was just like, okay, you get a 10-year deal to make games off of our thing.
Right.
And, that didn't work out, but they've kind of seen within that 10 years, Fortnite has only gotten bigger.
Right. Michael brings up a good question. How long will it stay free, though?
I feel like it stays free.
I mean, yes, because again, they print money, and there's always a price on freemium. You know what I mean? Like Fortnite has made hand over fist every year since it's been released. Like, why would it stop now? You know what I mean? Just because they're throwing this in there doesn't mean, Disney, I'm sure, kind of nudged them a little bit. It's like, hey, you gonna charge anything for this? But it's like,
Yeah,
we'll just charge for any kind of expansions or skins, or bundles, what have you. But I don't see this, being any kind of charge or them suddenly turn around and saying it's like, hey, we're not free anymore.
Yeah, like I definitely feel like it's going to stay free to play. It will be the battle passes, the skins, and then with them being, this large of an investor, every VC thing that anyone buys, any kind of money that is spent, guess what? Disney's going to make money off of it now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It might not be dollar to dollar, but they're going to make some sort of percentage off of that, and that's where they're at right now. And you look at their box off numbers, they've had bomb after bomb after bomb. And it's like the only thing that makes sense right now is this is the only thing that Disney has done that actually has made sense in a while.
Right.
I mean, you look at the Star Wars Galaxy, the hotel that they built, the amount of money that they were charging for people to stay at that hotel was insane. Sure. And it's literally even got to the point where they're shutting it down.
Wow, because no one's renting it.
No one's going there, and it's like, okay, this is way too much money and upkeep for a place that people aren't going, and people aren't watching the movies. A lot of people are dropping out of Disney Plus and everything, so it's like, okay,
because the price, I think it was today or yesterday, the price hike happened, and they lost millions of subs.
Yeah,
because of it.
And the rights to there was a football league or something. They lost a ton of subscribers over in India because they weren't carrying a football league anymore.
Right.
So it's very interesting to see. Dan says, nah, companies don't learn from failure anymore. They just double down on what already isn't working. And I would agree.
Yeah.
100%. Disney has not learned from a lot of mistakes, but they have seen the success rate of investing or buying companies that already are successful. That's what I'm trying to say is that's what they go after. That's the thing that they want is oh, that's successful. I want that. Oh, that's successful. I want that. And then, once they get them, does it stay good? I don't know. That's for you to decide.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, as the saying goes.
Yeah, but I was not expecting this news at all this week. It was just what is going on? And it was okay, Bob Iger, sure, let's
go off, I guess.
I was all right, we got some crazy stuff to talk about. Just like our next topic of the show, Xbox coming to PlayStation. X gonna give it to you. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and possibly Starfield are reportedly being considered for PlayStation 5.
As reported by The Verge, a source with knowledge on Microsoft's plans have claimed the company is, quote, weighing up which titles will remain exclusive and others that will appear on Switch or PS5 in the future. Indiana Jones is seemingly part of the new plan, and could be one of the first to kick off this new strategy if it ends up happening. Assuming this plan goes forward, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle appears set to launch exclusively on Xbox and PC by the end of the year this year, and would arrive on PS5 after a, quote, rather short period that could just be some months later. Once again, it's important to take this with a grain of salt as plans change all the time. But the conversations look to be happening inside Microsoft. The report also follows rumors that Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves may also be jumping to other platforms as well, and those two in particular we've reported on earlier this year. That's not all, however, as Xbox Era is reporting that Starfield may be another game to make its way to PS5. According to Xbox Era sources, Microsoft may be planning to launch Bethesda's space RPG on PS5 after the already announced Shattered Space expansion that is slated to arrive later in 2024. Furthermore, it has been claimed that Microsoft is making even more of an investment into PS5 dev kits to support this supposed multi-platform strategy it may adopt. Ahead of Starfield's launch, the question of its exclusivity was one of its biggest out there. While it turned out Starfield was exclusive as at least at launch, these potential new developments will also surely bring back the Elder Scrolls 6 into view. While it hasn't been 100% confirmed, Microsoft's own internal documents have claimed it will skip PS5 and will only launch on Xbox and PC. Once again, plans change all the time, as it is possibly evidenced by these reports, so it's important not to take anything as fact until it happens. So, this has been another hot topic because this saga started on Friday, and it's like because we just got the develop because we know like it said, Starfield was one of those bigs, like it was like announced and then Microsoft bought or at least started the acquisition with Activision Blizzard, and everyone's like, all right. And then, actually, it was even like when they bought Bethesda, and everyone was just like, will it remain exclusive? Or will it be an exclusive? And then everyone was like, no, it won't. And then Microsoft's like, yeah, it will. And now it's like, okay, it still might come, but we're going to do the complete edition, just like how they did Deathloop. Like Deathloop was exclusive to PlayStation. Then once all the DLC came out and like the expansion, then they're like, all right, here's the complete edition with everything a year later on Xbox. It's funny because we just got the developer direct a month ago where we first saw the first unveiling and the official title for the Indiana Jones game. And, before we got that, it was like sometime last year where it's like, yeah, it's going to be exclusive for Xbox and PC. So, but again, like I said, plans change. And I think, again, people have been touching on this ever since this news came about. You don't spend this ungodly amount of money on studios to just keep it exclusive. Like, yes, make your deals worth it by having a timed exclusivity, but then it's like, go ahead and just put it to other things. Like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face financially by keeping it solo. Like, gone are the days where this tribalism or this fanboyism. Like, I know we still beat the drum for PlayStation because they still make the best narrative games out there, for since the PS4 era. At the same time, it's getting less and less important about what console you have and why you should play that console, and more about just play fun games everywhere. And I think Microsoft, ever since Phil Spencer's taken over, he has always been for the gamers, and he's like, look, guys, we know you're getting tired of like these, like having to buy an extra console or buy a Game Pass subscription to just like on a PC to just play these games, like these few games that we put out. Why not wait it out and go ahead and spend money and you buy the complete edition when it comes out to the PlayStation as well? And it's also a thing of, because I know Bethesda in particular, because they were the ones that were most vocal about when they got bought, and then Microsoft came in there and was like, all right, these games right here, we can keep on multi-platform. These games, however, because I think it was the Redfall developers, because they were like in the whole Microsoft versus the world thing, it came out in court documents that it was like, oh, they were planning to make Redfall multi-plat, and then Microsoft came in and changed it at the last minute. And yeah, that ticked a lot of the devs off. And I think now this is Microsoft, whether that was true or not, this is them trying to course correct that and try to appease the devs and be like, all right, you guys want to make it for multiple platforms? Let's talk this out.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. I think with Microsoft seeing, PlayStation, bringing stuff to PC, and they've already done this, with Game Pass. I remember, Game Pass got announced, and it was like, okay, day one, it's going to be on this, and we're doing PC. We're bringing Xbox games to PC, which was not the standard back then. And I remember everyone losing their mind. I was like, what's going on? This makes no sense.
Yeah.
And it's like, looking at it now, it's like, wow, that was actually like really smart.
Right.
You know, so.
Well, it's the same thing with like Xbox One, right? Where it's like always online, all that kind of stuff. And we were all up in arms, got our pitchforks, and they changed it. And now it's like, what's happening? Like all these games requiring like an internet connection, or like if you want to buy digital, you have to connect to the internet at least once. So it's just like we go kicking and screaming, and then we just adapt to it later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and it's like when the always online was several years ago, when a lot more people did not have good internet. Like,
Correct.
you know, that's been 10 years plus since that. But with this, it's like, okay, we have all of these developers. They were multi-plat before we bought them. And now it's like, does it make sense to keep them exclusive on this? You know, we're not talking about Halo right now. We're talking about Starfield, which is from Bethesda, which has been on every console. You know, all the Bethesda's games have been on every console. And then you're looking, it's like, okay, we've got to set a precedence now before Call of Duty comes out. I feel like that is because the thought process. It's like, we've got to set the precedence now. So when Call of Duty comes up, we're not having every Call of Duty fan, every reporter, everybody knocking down our door asking, is it going to be exclusive or whatever? And I know PlayStation has a 10-year deal and all of that, but it's like, we've got to be able to answer these questions. And it's like, okay, we spent all this money. Let's start making some money back.
Right. And again, it goes back to, because we talked about it like shortly, you know, like when this first happened, it's like, because I know the hot debate was like, all right, well, like as soon as the acquisition was first announced, you know, everyone's hot topic was, is COD going to be exclusive? And we kind of were like, it can't be, right? Like, yes, the most they can do with it is like, this is before the court cases, like, again, like I'm talking about like fresh out the womb, you know, type deal. And we were talking about it, it's like, it doesn't make sense because Call of Duty, whether it's good or bad, is the top selling game every year on NPD lists, and they make crazy stupid amounts of money. So it's like, why would you all of a sudden cut that in half or a third and put it on less platforms? So like, you can't make COD not multi-plat. So like I think, and again, because of that, you would, going back to your Bethesda arguments, like Bethesda, like rightfully so, would come out like spoiled children and be like, why are you gonna tell us what games will be exclusive and not, but then you're gonna tell COD that they can do whatever they want to? And it's like, that, how is that fair? You know what I mean? And I mean, Xbox could look at them and be like, make COD money, and then we'll let you do what you want to. But they know that can't run like that either.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just thinking about MLB The Show, because I remember MLB being, you know, developed by a Sony studio, was only on Sony's consoles, and then 2021, I want to say, was the first year.
It was around COVID.
Yeah, it was 2021 was the first year that it had went to Xbox as well. Right. And before that,
the deal with MLB was up, and MLB came to him and was like, look, y'all do great, make great game, make great baseball games. We want to make more money. We will let you continue to make it on the premise that you put it on other consoles.
Yeah. So looking at the numbers, like, I don't have numbers for 2020 or 2019, but 2018, MLB 18 was 1.6 million sold. Right. 2021 with the Xbox included was over 2 million sold.
Yeah.
And again, MLB very niche, but it's like bringing that title over. And like, you could even look at, let's say, it was, I think it's like, it's not Rise of the Tomb, which is the first Tomb Raider. Was it Rise of the Tomb Raider?
No, it was just Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Because it was the remake, and then Rise was the second one, and then Shadow was the third one.
Yeah, because it was originally
Oh yeah, timed
Xbox exclusive and everything.
Yeah, for a year.
And it's interesting. It's like seeing that, once it like got onto all of the places, it did better. Let's see. I'm trying to look
and
at
then
this.
I'd like to see the 20 because I think the next year in 2022, MLB came to the Switch as well.
Yeah, I'm not getting a number on Tomb Raider, but it's just like looking at it as a whole. It's like, yes, there are games that are essentially console agnostic.
Yes,
and it's like I feel because PC is involved, that's less than it was before.
Right.
But like we will never see a PlayStation first party IP on another console. I doubt we ever see that.
Yeah.
But you think about how Xbox has handled things, they're wanting their stuff on everything. If it could play on a fridge, they would put it on a fridge. Yeah. Like, you think Samsung TVs...
Talk to Bethesda.
Yeah. Samsung TVs, you literally can play Game Pass on it without an Xbox.
Correct. You just need the controller.
And, like, think about all the places that do not have the money to buy a console.
Right.
I know we've talked about this before. Like, India is like a prime candidate for this. Like, they do not have the money to buy a $400 or $500 console, but they have cell phones. Guess what? You can get a subscription to Game Pass and be able to play game, on cloud on that. And like, I know cloud is underutilized from the last time that was reported, but I think more people are starting to use it, because when I first started using cloud, it was, a few minutes. Like, if it's peak times, it went from like 5-minute wait times to 15-minute wait times, especially when Power World came out. Like, it got to like 15-20-minute wait times to get on xCloud. So that's saying that more people are using it.
Right.
In my opinion. So playing Xbox games on your Xbox fridge, 100%.
The real metaverse.
Welcome, Murdoch. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Let's move into the next one, because I know we got a lot to cover tonight, and we're going to continue to talk about all of this. What's up, Tyler? How's it going, my man? Microsoft has reportedly put extra investments into the PlayStation 5 dev kits to support ongoing development.
So, following up on the news that Microsoft is looking to bring a number of its major Xbox exclusive to PS5, Xbox Era has got word from its sources that the format holder has also made additional investments into development kits for Sony's current generation console. The article mentions about Starfield reportedly being planned for a PS5 release following the launch of the game's Shattered Space expansion, and following up with its interesting tidbit. We've also been informed that Microsoft has made additional investments into PS5 dev kits to support ongoing development efforts, adding further fuel to the fire. So, again, it's like a build upon, you know what I mean? Like, it starts with bringing like a big game for them this year, and then a big game for them last year to the front, along with, Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush. And then, like, how do you add further fuel to the speculation? It's like, oh, by the way, we're going to we're going to buy PS5 dev kits and funnel money into that, so that way our devs can figure out how to port them over to PS5. And it's like, and for some, I know Hi-Fi Rush for sure is talked about coming to Switch as well. But yeah, like, when you do this, again, all of it's speculation, take all of it with a grain of salt. But again, if you invest in dev kits for your competitor, pretty much a surefire way that you're going to do this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why would they waste money on dev kits if they're not going to port stuff over? And like, I don't think it's going to be day and date at the moment. Like, I do not think that it is going to be, you see Halo whatever come out, boom, it's on. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, that's not going to happen right now. And I don't think they bring Game Pass to PlayStation either. It's like, if you want Game Pass, you got to play on Xbox, or you got to play through xCloud. But if you want to play Xbox games, you pay $70.
At least for right now. Now, again, we all know how petty Sony can be. And they'll probably be the last to play ball. But you remember several years ago, the Xbox is like they want to try and put Game Pass on anything that can run video games.
Yeah.
So eventually maybe they want to put it on PS5, but then again, will PlayStation play ball?
Yeah, like I know Xbox struggles to make money on their consoles, but Game Pass is like selling bukudos of money, and like I'm glad that I got an Xbox. Like I'm very happy that I have one, because like playing on cloud is nice. You know, and I'm glad that like on the Xbox One you could play the newer games. Like they weren't great, but you could play the newer games and everything. But like this is telling me it's like, okay, we're wanting to put our games on other things. This is not saying to me, I know, and Tyler brings this up. He said, I saw on TikTok today about Xbox not making any more consoles and just trying to get on all the other platforms. I think they will continue to make at least one more.
Yeah, probably two more.
Yeah. I think that's just like how it's going to be, you know, like I feel like they are going to make more. Because they do sell pretty well. That's just my thought. Like they are investing to get to other places and everything. But yeah, I think they're going to bring games to other consoles, but I don't think they're going to stop making consoles.
No.
Tyler also says, agree, the Game Pass is nice being a PC player now. Agreed. Like being able to go from your console to a PC to your phone and back again, and everything syncs up. Oh my God, Derek, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And I know,
Chef's kiss.
Like, yes, and like I know Ubisoft does this with like their service as well, and some others do, but it is really, really nice. Like we don't get that with PlayStation because you're not, you know, hopping around all over the places and everything.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm interested in seeing where it goes. Yeah. Tyler also said, but it's nice. I have an original Xbox One for my son and wanted to get another Xbox for him to upgrade. But if they aren't going to make any more, then I'll have to look at the PS5. Like I feel like if you are going to invest in the ecosystem, like get an S. Like don't go all the way to the X. You know, like I don't feel like it's.
I mean, especially depending on how old your son is too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they're young, just get them an S because they're not going to have time to be playing that much anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So yeah, all digital as well. For us, but let's move to the next one. Yes.
Yeah. This one's interesting.
Yes, we have the pink cup tonight, y'all. Everybody's excited that I have the stream cup with me. Gears of War is reportedly being considered by Microsoft for release on PlayStation.
Oh, boy. So Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb has weighed in on the hot topic of Microsoft reportedly looking to bring its major Xbox exclusives to PS5, claiming that Gears of War is also being considered to come to Sony's console. In case you haven't been keeping up, Microsoft is heavily rumored to be bringing a number of major games with like Hi-Fi Rush, Indiana Jones, Sea of Thieves, and Starfield. Furthermore, it has been reported that Microsoft has been investing heavily in PS5 dev kits. Now Grubb claims that one of Xbox's biggest exclusives may also end up on Sony's current generation platform. The other one that I've heard that's definitely under consideration, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but it's in talks, is Gears of War. Grubb said on Monday, Gears of War is being considered for this. Nothing official has been made in regards to any of the above titles coming to PlayStation formats, although hopefully Microsoft will address the rumors soon enough. We'll get into that in just a minute, but man, this is huge. Like, if this is true, this is huge because it's been one of their babies since the 360 generation. It's pretty much like one of the founding pillars of Xbox. Like, that's like the Godfather is obviously Halo. Like that, no talk of that yet. But if that comes, then it's game over. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a bonanza, crazy shooter fest in this thing. But Gears of War being like, granted, we haven't seen anything since 2019 from them. It's been a while. It's about time. Where's Gear 6? but this would be huge for them, for especially because it's a great shooter, and it would definitely help because I know PlayStation, they make great games, but they really haven't, like, I know Destiny, but they were recently bought, but they haven't really hit that much in the shooter space. And if they would, this would kind of like quell some of that if this did indeed come over. Like, could you imagine like the crossplay? It'd be insane.
Well, this is my thing, and if y'all know me, know me in any sense of the way, I love Gears of War. It is one of my favorites.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It is one of my favorite series. And hearing this knee-jerk reaction is like, what is going on? But it's like the people that like Gears of War have played Gears of War.
Correct.
You know, if you've had an Xbox, any generation, you've played Gears of War at some time and you've enjoyed it, or it might not be for you.
Right.
But there are a lot of people that have only been PlayStation that have never touched Gears of War. And that's what they're trying to do. The game's already made. We just make sure it runs on the console, and then bang, there you go. People are playing it. It's just like Sony like re-releasing The Last of Us 2 for the PlayStation 5 or remastering Last of Us 1. It's like, it's just easy money. It's easy money for them. So this is like another, like, it's like, okay, we've already mapped out through 5. We release them one at a time, see how they do, or they do 1 through 3, which I think would be a good way, kind of like the Nathan Drake collection. And then they do 4, and then they do 5, or they do 4 and 5 together. 4 is, I don't know if they do Judgment, you know, that sort of deal. Like, I feel like Judgment is like the weakest one out of all of them, then 4.
And it's also like a Batman Arkham Origins thing. It's done by different studios, so it's like, could they really have the rights to do that? You know, anyway. But.
Yeah, I think we don't do Judgment, and then we just do the mainline games. This, to me, is like, okay, PlayStation does not have shooters.
Correct.
Like, in their stable.
They have, like, Killzone, they have them, but they're not
good.
About.
They're not good. So it's like, okay, let's put a first-class shooter on the PlayStation. PlayStation fans will eat it up if they haven't played it on their Xbox, because I know a lot of people have both. You know, they have 2 consoles or whatever. But it's like, there's a lot of people that never got into Gears because they didn't have an Xbox.
Right.
You know, so I think that's where this comes down to. It's like, are we getting to Gears 6? I don't know. I want one. Like, we got, you know.
They need to finish the story.
They need to finish the story, and I want to finish the story, because after 5, I was like, I'm bought in now. Because 4, I was like, I don't care. Don't make another one. And then 5, I begrudgingly started playing, and I was like, dang, this is really good. And then, you know, we're left hanging for years. So don't know yet, but we will learn a little bit about the future of Xbox, because Phil Spencer has teased that they are having a Future of Xbox event next week.
So Microsoft had a strong start to 2024 thanks to their Developer Direct showcase, but it sounds like we'll get even more information on what the gaming giant is up to very soon. Head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, gathered the attention of gamers everywhere this afternoon with a post announcing an upcoming business update event. You can see the post for yourself below. We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week, where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned. The post itself doesn't have any concrete details on what to expect, but there's a likely subject. That said, Spencer didn't give us any idea of what the announcement would be about, so we'll have to wait until next week to know for sure. Now, to play devil's advocate, this might have been in the cards for a while, and this may not address any of the upcoming rumors. However, all this stuff being leaked within the last week, and then him just coincidentally, after the whole, because I think this was the same day, all in the same day, that it's like they invested in dev kits. Gears of War might be another one of the games being considered to be go multiplat. And then, like, literally hours after that, he comes out and says, we'll give you more next week. or like we're going to have some updates for our business next week. You don't coincidentally just drop that after all this news has been speculating and leaked for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, it's all timing is coincidental. You know, it's just like when a major leak at Ubisoft happens and then they come out and it's like, all right, I guess we got to do a press event for you guys just to get it all out there.
Yeah.
Make it official. But you know, again, they could have had this planned way before these stories were even a thing. At the same time, timing is everything, and it's no coincidence.
Yeah, you know, just like comedy.
Right.
Timing is everything. Guys, y'all let us know. What are your predictions of what will happen at the future of Xbox discussion next week? I want to know. What do y'all think?
And again, it's the wording of it. The business event update. Like again,
Yeah.
it's like Xbox going like all these speculation of Xbox games going multi-plat. Again, why would you call it like it was just like, hey, we're gonna have like another like fun little update, like another not a developer direct showcase, but it's like, hey, we're gonna talk about more games that we have in the pipeline. If that was the case, it was like, okay, they're not gonna probably do this, but a business thing, like, that's gonna be pretty, like it's gonna be significant.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever heard Phil like actually say something like that. He like
Correct.
usually talks about game, you know, like it feels more game. This feels more like CEO kind of talk.
Right.
I think, you know, the timing, like you were saying, is a big thing because, you know, we're getting leaks, we're getting little hints and doodads and all of that.
It's just like before Summer Game Fest or back in the day E3. The weeks leading into it, you get all these rumors, speculation, stories about, oh, this is in development or the sequel to this, and then it comes out and it's like, oh yeah, that was true.
Yeah. So for me, like what I think we'll get from this business event, there will be confirmation that, you know, certain games are going to be going multi-platform. You know, I think they will talk about how successful Game Pass has been and that they, you know, we potentially might see Game Pass come to something that is like Switch.
Yeah, I was going to say. That was going to be the thing. Like Game Pass is coming to Switch.
The reason I say Switch and not Sony is because of Jim Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Until Jim Ryan is completely out the door and they have the new CEO like fully in place, we won't see like Game Pass come to PlayStation. I don't think it will come to PlayStation. That's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me. But I think this is like, okay, it's going to come to Switch. I think, you know, that like 9 times out of 10, Switch owners are going to be younger gamers or they're growing up. So Xbox wants to get them as they're growing up and get them into their games because, you know, you think about that. Plus, Xbox has done, under Phil Spencer, has done a really good job of going into the Japanese market and making themselves more a presence because for the longest time, Xbox has struggled in that market, not selling a lot. And it has done better under Phil's leadership. They've gotten deals with Final Fantasy. We've seen, you know, they're working with Hideo Kojima on a game. So he has done a lot to really bring that into fruition. So I could see that happening. But I think other than that, we will see some of the games that have essentially lost their, you know, kind of steam on Xbox.
Yeah.
But they can have a second life over on PlayStation and on cloud from, you know, on the Switch and everything. So that's kind of my thought. I don't think you're going to hear, we're not making another Xbox. I don't think you hear anything about that because if that is said, it's like, oh, then all their sales stops for the console. Like, why would
they would drop subs?
Yeah, it's like why would you go out and buy an Xbox if it's the last one?
Oh, correct.
You know, it's like, oh, they're not going to support this thing.
And then GameStop would jack up the price and give you bundles. It's like, get the last ever Xbox bundle.
Yeah, and it's like Xbox Game Pass. It's like you got to drop Xbox because there's no box anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just X. We're gonna be like Twitter over here.
Yeah, it's just Game Pass at that point. But I think, you know, that's where we're going to be going. You know,
question for you, and again, this popped in my head. It's like speculation. Again, let's just
Speculation
say,
station.
right. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, they come out and they say, "Oh yeah, the rumored for these games coming to multiplat is true." Like Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Starfield, Indiana Jones, and then Gears of War. They all confirm those. Do you think they include any other games that are not being talked about? I know we've got more. I know there'll probably be more stuff that comes out over the coming days after the show tonight. But do you have any other ideas for what games could go multi-plat, or do you think they'll just stay with those 5 for now?
I think those are going to be pretty successful on
and it's
on
a diverse
PlayStation.
range of games.
Yeah, the one that pops into my head, if it is in a good state, this is the caveat, because I don't think it's in a good state yet. I haven't played it, but Redfall.
Oh, okay.
Like when Redfall is like in a good to go place, they do the kind of cyberpunk thing, and they launch it. They put a new DLC with it that's big and all of that, and they get that out there. They put it on PlayStation. It gets new people on there, and then people are like, I don't know what y'all Xbox fans were talking about. This game
y'all
is
just
great.
a bunch of babies. Y'all don't know what good games are, do you?
Yeah, exactly. That's literally how it worked with Cyberpunk. Is like people played it and it was buggy, or they might have had a good experience, but then Phantom Liberty came out and like everybody's like, man, this game is great. I don't know what y'all were talking and complaining about, but it's like all of this stuff has been fixed over years, and everything. But yeah, I could definitely see Redfall. I'm trying to think of some other.
Do you think it'd be a conflict of interest if they tried to? Now, actually, no, it wouldn't. I think they could also bring a Forza game, but I think it would be Horizon, because it's an open world driving game. I think if you bring Motorsport, it'd bring too much competition because of Gran Turismo, but at the same, because they're so similar. But I think Horizon would do better, because it's technically, I mean, Motorsport does fine sales wise, but Horizon is like the bigger sales for them.
Yeah, like I could see them both coming, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you can do whatever. It's like they're not going to block your game going on their console just because it's a conflict of interest. It's like, think about how many racing games get made.
True.
That sort of deal. So I could see it. I don't think that's going to be the first push, because how Forza usually is used is like how to show off their console. Let's just be honest.
Like the new tech. It's like, hey, look how sleek the cars look.
Yeah. That's how I kind of think of Forza.
That's true.
I know that's kind of reductive, but that's how I look at it and everything. So,
do you think? Obviously, we are at least several years away, but do you think they bring Fable to PlayStation?
That would be actually pretty good. Get Fable 1 through 3 on there. I think would do well.
Correct.
That is like old school Xbox, and to see that would be very interesting. I think it would because those games are already developed. They're not going to add anything to them, but it's like a whole new group of people actually getting to experience it. And I wouldn't just put it on the PlayStation 5. I'd put it on the PlayStation 4 as well. I'd make it where you could play it on both. That way you also get that huge install base that is the PlayStation 4.
Yeah. Now, and obviously we got to address the elephant in the room. Whether it's 3 years down the road or ever, do you ever think they give up their baby Halo to PlayStation, or do you think that's going to be forever and ever on Xbox? Amen.
Halo's in a weird place. Like I don't think it is in a place where they know what to do with it.
Right.
1, 2,
because Infinite is ending.
Infinite, they're not doing any more seasons after this one. The season that they're doing right now is trash. Like it is just a ton of cosmetics, and it's not great. But yeah, I don't think we see Halo until they figure out what's going on. That would be kind of sad.
Not even Master Chief Collection?
No.
Okay.
I think they keep that. Like I that's also like some, I'm holding that back because I don't want to see that on PlayStation. And I'm a PlayStation fan. I know
Oh
some people
yeah.
will be like, why are you saying that? Like, I love PlayStation, but I do not want to see Halo on a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just my thought on that. I know we got some questions in here, kind of shifting into PlayStation. So we can hit those right after our sponsor spot. Guys, if you're looking for some exceptional quality coffee and you're looking for some place that doesn't have any gimmicks or politics, check out Coffee Brand Coffee. They have nearly 4,000 verified reviews, and most of them are 5 out of 5. They've got 12 coffee blends, 12 organic teas, 3 hot cocoa flavors, and if you're looking for convenience, they have cold brew and K-Cups available. I know Amy really enjoyed her medium roast and chai tea that she got, but some that stick out to me, that blueberry cobbler flavored coffee just sounds delicious.
That's been with you since we first started advertising this.
I know, it sounds great. Guys, the thing that I love about Coffee Brand Coffee, it's just like a brand new game. It's fresh. Because when you order it, they roast the beans fresh right then and there, guys. So if you want to level up your coffee experience, go with Coffee Brand Coffee. Use code NerdCave at checkout or the link in the description below to get 5% off your order today. There you go. Do it. Murdoch asks, have you talked about PlayStation games coming to PC? Would like to play some PlayStation exclusives on PC. Spider-Man came over, so we've had God of War. And I know Nate put God of War and Horizon. So we had God of War. We had Last of Us. We've had... Has Spider-Man came over?
Yeah, Spider-Man... Well, not 2. Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales are on there.
Okay.
Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection is on there.
Okay.
Well, Legacy of Thieves collection, excuse me. The last 4 and Lost Legacy.
Okay. So... I think eventually we will get Ghost. I know that's been hinted at for a while that Ghost will come to PC. I think we will eventually get that. God of War 2 will come because like God of War 1 sold crazy on there. So
Horizon Complete Edition is coming either end of this month or next month. So that's it's soonish for the second one. But yeah, Ragnarok should be soon, and then Spider-Man 2 should be sometime eventually late, probably late this year if I had to guess. Or early next year.
I'm seeing when Horizon Complete Edition comes out. Why is Steam not telling me? Useless. Steam is useless. Not telling me anything, bro. PC edition. Here we go. We had to go to PlayStation. Go figure. Go figure. Do we have a date?
Should be.
My God. How hard is it? August 7th was it's not what I want. We got you can buy it on Epic as well, guys.
Yeah. March 21st.
Okay, there we go. Everything is saying the wrong date. It came out in 2020.
No, 2021.
Oh, I'm looking up Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh no, yeah. Forbidden West came out 2022, excuse me.
Okay. There you go, guys. There you go.
But yeah, so March 21st, so that I think, and this raised the questions like, man, all these other ones like are coming out and like, where's Ghost? Why isn't Ghost? And it clicked. I'm like, I want to say they're going to wait till unveil Ghost 2. And then it's like, hey, while we make the sequel to this epic game, we're going to finally bring the first one to PC.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how they did God of War. When they announced 2, they brought it to PC, the first one.
That's true.
So,
but I mean, also PlayStation has said that they're going to try and shorten their window with PC releases too. Like the gap between when they drop on console to PC So I think, but again, I think Ghost will be the exception because it's been such a length of time, and it came out during COVID when that weird time where it was just like, we're going to wait on this until Ghost 2 and rectify this.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, it's time for some PlayStation news. That's the wrong one. Where is it at? Where is it? Nope, that's not it. There we go. They're totally out of order for some odd reason. Why is 4 down here? Anyway, whatever. Guys, Helldivers 2 devs will be watching while you play and affecting things in real time to keep the gameplay fresh.
In a PlayStation Access interview with Deputy Game Director Sagar Baroshi from Arrowhead Studios, Baroshi revealed that while you're playing Helldivers 2, the team members at Arrowhead are watching and can affect the game you're currently playing in real time. Not just developers, of course, Arrowhead has also developed a suite of tools to help ensure that everyone playing can have unique experiences. But there is indeed a team constantly watching and acting like a games master or dungeon master. Fans of tabletop RPGs should appreciate that this idea came from the developers playing those games and wanting to take the idea of a live, always online game to a new level. Baroshi also confirmed that this feature will be utilized to its full effect, meaning that while Arrowhead will continue to support the game with DLC and new content, it'll also constantly be guiding the story based on how players are playing. That means as you continue to liberate planets, Arrowhead will be actively designing how your enemies respond and how things may change the next time you log on. Baroshi emphasizes that players who jump in from the beginning will be able to experience the totality of that story, a long saga drawn out across what Arrowhead hopes will be a long time. Quote, so in a lot of tabletop games, you have a dungeon master or a game master, right? We also have a game master in this game. It's very hard to achieve exactly what you get at a table, but we wanted flavors of that into this game. This is not a minor part of our game. This is a significant feature that we've designed that is, by the way, somewhat different from the first game. Something that we're really excited to talk about. We have a suite of tools and a suite of real life human beings. Okay, not just AI bots, right? We are doing this that are observing the gameplay and as it's happening and responding in real time. The interviewer asks, clarifying, so like servers in Arrowhead, and then you're watching people play, and then you're talking to them. That's right. He continues to explain that during a preview play session, PlayStation Access had, one of the teammates was watching their game and dropped in a high-powered bomb to help them defeat a giant enemy. One of our team members was observing your playstyle and debated what to do, and was like, I'm going to drop them this extra strategy. You were always with us at the same time you're playing with each other, playing against the bad guys. An absolute wild feature to think about, that when some last-minute clutch weapon or bomb is the thing that brings home your victory, or the lack of it on top of a new extra challenge that can come from the mercy of someone at Arrowhead. We have this Game Master functionality where we can drop in things like buffs, but sometimes debuffs will happen too. A good challenge sometimes can be really valuable. Baroshi goes on to reference the previous play session PlayStation Access had, asking the interviewer to imagine if they had held a position for twice as long as they did, or deal with some other big threat. Especially at the higher difficulties, those marginal differences could be the difference between success and failure. In this mission, there are a bunch of things that we can do with this. If you think of a traditional live game, we tend to think of a live experience as constituting a series of parts. We want to model a different type of live service here. Something that's just specific for this game and specific for the people we're building for. So there's this meta narrative going on that's playing out like at the galactic level based on what actions the community takes. The war, therefore, that you're playing in plays out almost in real time. It's not like in a few weeks the entire war is over. This is a galactic battle. So people who join us, players who join us from day one, they're going to experience the entirety of this full story arc. They'll see everything, all the ways that as it unfolds, as Super Earth, arrogant as it is, digs itself deeper and deeper into problems.
I like it. I like that. That sounds great.
I do like it. It's just, it's different. It's different for this game because, as we've seen, because Helldivers 1 was great, and it was a little different. It was like a little the top-down view. Like I tried to be. It was very niche. This one, they're like, hey, we're still going to keep the core battle system with friendly fire, but at the same time, we're going to change everything else because we want to take this series seriously.
Yeah,
and it is different. my thing is like, all right, there's got to be, obviously for people who don't want this, they can their feature can be turned off. I'm assuming.
No,
No.
this
Oh
is
Lord.
active. Like this is not.
Oh. Because my worry is like you're going to get the trolls who just want to just ruin your game.
The people that are deciding it is the developers. This is not like
Oh,
some
I thought I read
random.
somewhere where it's like
No,
other players can have an impact too.
no. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it's like the developers are the ones that are deciding if you're getting buffs, debuffs, help, not help, whatever. It's
Yeah,
not
okay.
like randos or anything like that. I like this because it's like we're finally getting a live service game that isn't just built around a battle pass.
Good point.
You know, it's not cosmetics. It's actually interesting. It's affecting the gameplay, the loop, the story. And it's like, compare this with, let's think about something that came out this month as well, a few days ago. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a live service game, and it
Good
is
point.
soulless and just, it does
Yeah.
not have these things. And it's like,
Trash.
how interesting would it have been if Brainiac reacts to how you're playing and adapts to your gameplay to make it more challenging, make it where it's actually, oh, there's a new character, like, you know, like it just reveals, you know, like games always like reveal a new enemy type or
Oh, yeah.
whatever, but it's like the tactics change, or, oh, like I didn't know they were going to send Batman after me or what, you know, like
Right.
just different things like that. That would make it so much more interesting. And seeing this, it's like everybody's going to be on this galactic war. Everybody's fighting on the same campaign, which I think
Yeah.
is really, really cool for a live service game. And if y'all have been here long enough, or if you're new here, we hate live service games, like, because it's just a money grab.
Right.
But it feels like the developers at Arrowhead are actually like, hey, instead of us just trying to get your money, we're actually going to make this an enjoyable thing. You know, having challenges is a good thing. I loved Halo, but after a while, it was just like, where I'm picking up this weapon to get XP to be able to get this new piece of armor or whatever. But it's like, okay, I'm getting new pieces of armor, new gear, new things that are cosmetic, but then there's somebody that's at Arrowhead and it's like, hey, I see these guys have been rolling through missions. We're about to wreck them. And then,
Yeah.
you know, something happens and there's this like, you know, kaiju that just like jumps out of nowhere. And it's like, okay, what just happened? You know, that
Right.
kind of stuff excites me because, like, I loved Helldivers 1, but there was like the difficulty in what it was. Like, it was a great game, but this is like a whole new thing that's using, you know, how games have actually developed the last, you know, 10 years. I can't remember
Correct.
when the first game came out. But it's like we're actually getting something new. And I love that. 2015 is when the first game came out.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so much that has changed. And yes, live service is the kind of thing today. That's how games play.
Right.
But it's like, it's not a battle royale. I don't want to play that. It's
No.
not, you know, it's not like there is going to be a grind to it because it is a war or whatever. But that makes me so excited, Derek. Like, I don't know if you can
And
tell
you just
that or
can't
not.
hide it.
I can't wait for Tuesday, man.
I know. Now it's like, all right, how the devs gonna mess with me?
Yeah. It's like, let's go. Let's see what you got, devs.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got, devs. What are your thoughts, Derek? I know I kind of ranted there for a moment.
It is unique. Like that. This is like again, like you kind of hit on it. This is different from a live service game, and it ensures that it will at least have a longer stay than most that just come out and then flame out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, 6 days ago, Suicide Squad came out, and it's just like too lackluster. Like, read the reviews, like all the previews were negative. It was DOA pretty much, and you know they don't have a. I know they're doing DLC, all that. It's all going to be free. I get that, but it's not. It's already lost. And this is coming out, and it's like, hey, we're going to make sure that every experience you have is fresh, new, and exciting, whether it's in your favor or not in your favor. we're the ones who ultimately are going to decide your fate and make sure that you're having a fun and again, because like I said, I thought they were going to open it up to players, but now that you re-clarify that and it's like, oh no, it's going to be just the devs. I'm like, okay, cool. The people who made this game that know how this game ticks is going to ensure that you have a fun, fresh experience every time you log into this game. And and it's a pretty much like a one-on-one. They're getting feedback.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, as they're doing this and as you're going through, like you said, like a scenario, like you're just blazing through levels and the devs are like, we didn't make this challenging enough, but now we can, instead of just waiting for updates, more like harder difficulty modes. You can get like there in real game time and be like, all right, you don't have a challenge yet. Well, now you do. Here's like 8 kaijus you got to defeat at once.
Hopefully not. That'll be scary.
I know.
But yeah, I cannot wait for some Helldivers. I know Murdoch was in the chat. Like, it's like launch day today. I'm super stoked for it. And I know some other people are excited for Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth State of Play dives deep into the world exploration, side content, and character relationships.
So, of course, they talked about this last week at the State of Play, and this was going to be more of a just focused State of Play. It comes out in a few weeks. We didn't cover this because, it's just one game. It's not a game we're super excited about, so it's like, why bother? But we will talk about what they discussed. The world of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is broken into various regions which seamlessly blend into one another. After the intro sequence, players enter into the Grasslands, a grassy area south of Midgar. From there, you travel to Junon, a vast open area in the shadow of Shinra's military. This area also features chocobos that can climb up cliff sides. The game also includes Coral, which features the touristy beach side of Costa del Sol, the massive playground known as Gold Saucer, and the dusty portion of the region to the south. The Gongaga region allows you to explore Zack's hometown and explore the Mako reactor. The Cosmo Canyon regions let you learn more about Red 13's roots and glide around on special chocobos. The Nibel region lets you relive Cloud and Tifa's younger days and visit Shinra Manor. Finally, the Meridian Ocean allows you to explore the waters. As you explore, you can assist Chadley with side quests to let him develop new materia. These world intel quests sometimes require you to wrangle chocobos or play with Mooglets. They also include exploration tasks like unlocking the secrets of divine entities in their sanctuaries or fighting powerful monsters in optional layers. There's even a proto-relic investigation sequence that transports the cast to look closer to their appearances in the original game, though it's uncertain if each proto-relic investigation will include this gimmick. As the stream said, each will include different characters and objectives. What we do know is that once you recover all the proto-relics, something big will happen. Odd jobs are also scattered worldwide, allowing you to learn more about the world and its inhabitants. These odd jobs will also strengthen Cloud's bond with his party members. These sometimes pay homage to classic storylines in the original game, or expand beyond the scope in exciting ways. If you're concerned about moving on from a region before finishing all the side content, don't fret. Square Enix assures players story progression won't affect your ability to complete side content. As director Naoki Hamaguchi stated in the presentation, quote, "This freedom to experience a story how you want is one of Rebirth's greatest strengths. Completing side quests, fighting alongside your party, and choosing different dialogue options will improve your relationship with party members, which can influence who you take on a date in Gold Saucer. On top of that, characters can also develop deeper relationships with one another, raising your party level. As your party level rises, you can unlock more skills in the character's folios. Rebirth's version of the skill tree. You can reset the character's folios at any time." Speaking of Gold Saucer, the fan favorite location has plenty of mini-games on offer, including Chocobo Racing, G-Bike, and 3D Brawler. Each has been remade from the ground up. Fans can even take part in Star Fox-esque space battles, which are called gallery shooting, and what looks like soccer against Chocobos. Others, like riding dolphins and performing in the military parade, have been fleshed out substantially in Rebirth. And of course, the card battler Queen's Blood is that director Hamaguchi recommends players check out. From the graphical perspective, Rebirth continues to impress. The second entry in the remake trilogy delivers more and higher quality cinematic storytelling content than the 2020 predecessor. Rebirth takes full advantage of the PS5's SSD to deliver higher resolution textures faster than ever before. This entry includes a graphics mode which delivers 4K resolution and a performance mode which offers constant 60 frames per second performance. The music aims to pay respect to the original tracks while also expanding to include new tracks that accentuate the feeling of the new scenes. Square Enix recorded well over 400 new tracks for Rebirth, so if you're a fan of Final Fantasy music, you're in luck with Rebirth. As you move through the world and progress through the story, you utilize the various abilities of the party members as you control different characters. Barrett can shoot objects other characters can't reach. Yuffie can swing across gaps. Tifa can grapple up ledges. Red 13 can climb up walls. Kate Sith can pick up and throw items, and Aerith can manipulate the life stream. All of these abilities will allow players to solve various environmental puzzles and further explore the world. And of course, each character has special synergy abilities with one another, further showcasing not only the characters' unique abilities, but their bonds with one another. So some good information, especially, and like, again, if you're one of those OGs who have either played a lot of the older Final Fantasies or played the very first iteration of 7 or like the PC port that they did some time ago, like, hopefully this is a lot of changes that are for the better, that intrigue you.
Mm-hmm.
I am still on the fence. Like, I never played Remake. I'm still on the fence if I want to go back and try to play through this and then Rebirth, because I know it's in one of the PlayStation quickies, but this is going to be a hardware eater, because this is going to take up like 150 gigs of space on your PS5.
Ooh, dog.
Yeah.
Now, I know that there is a demo out for this.
Mm-hmm.
I like, anytime a Final Fantasy comes out, it's like, is this the one I'm going to play?
Right.
Is this anytime?
16 almost got me. I'm gonna be fair.
True. But it's like, it's Final Fantasy 7, which is like the one or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So, and like, I've been watching Snowbike Mike over on Kind of Funny a little bit, playing it and everything. I don't know. Like, I'm excited for it because like, it does look really good, and I know people are excited for it. Michael was like, got to talk the wife into letting me buy a PS5 for this game. It looks great. Like, I think it is going to be a ton of fun, and the people that are into it are going to have an awesome time. Like, and the things that they've added in here, like with the, being able to do more things like in the world and everything,
right,
I think is going to be cool. And like, having a more of a relationship with each character and developing that, I think that's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's a different way to improve your party with it. Again, we all think about, like, when we think about party leveling, we all go back to the very first iteration of like Pokemon, where you had to like literally put if you have a team of 6, put one at the starter where they come out each time, and then that way you have to grind their level and then rinse and repeat for 2 through 6. You know what I mean? But this is when they finally put in a game EXP share, which is like, all right, you can equip it and they level up without having to battle. I'm like, perfect. This is very much a time saver. So, and again, they keep doing better with each Final Fantasy iteration, like doing better quality of life stuff, realizing like, hey, these were good for the time when they first came out and when like RPGs were of a different era. Now it's like, let's just make it something that's more fan friendly and not such a grind fest.
Yeah, 100%. And like, looking at it, it's like, this game looks fantastic.
I know, and that's the thing. Like, man, like I'm go back to that first reveal trailer where him and Sephiroth are just walking through that like mountaintop, and it's just so super detailed. And I'm like, bro, like, insane.
Yeah, it makes me want to play it, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I need to play I would have to play the first one to know what's going on and everything. Yeah. But it looks really, really good. Dan says, I'm just excited to continue the story, which, totally makes sense. I know Dan is huge in this game. And like, It makes me want to play it, man. It makes
I
me
know.
want to play it. It's like, I have the time to play Final Fantasy though? And I don't. I don't have
I
the
know.
time.
Like if nothing else was coming out that intrigued you, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, maybe, down the road I can
Yeah.
pick it up and play both of them or whatever. Because I started Remake,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, like I didn't give it a fair chance. I will say that. I didn't
Right.
play enough of it, but it was like, okay, this does look really good. But, it wasn't like.
Hey man, it's okay. I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy a year later. It's fine. You know what I mean?
True. But guys, you know what you don't have to wait on is the PlayStation Quickies.
Mm-hmm. So starting off, hold on, where'd it go? Starting off, rumor Fire Sprite's new game is Project Heartbreak and features talent from Rockstar and Telltale Games. Speaking more on Rebirth, Rebirth will take nearly up to 150 gigs of space on PS5. And like Zach alluded to a moment ago, there's a Rebirth demo available right now. Silent Hill 2 Remake to launch simultaneously on PS5 and PC and will be Sony exclusive for 12 months. Helldivers 2 will receive free post-launch content, including new biomes and enemies. Helldivers 2 is topping Steam sales charts in North America just ahead of launch. This was yesterday. Until Dawn on PS5 will feature new third-person camera and will expand on the emotional parts of the story. Following that, Until Dawn 2 was reportedly in the pipeline, but eventually evolved into The Quarry. Rumor, Uncharted Drake's Fortune remake potentially in the works. The Last of Us Part 3 has a concept, and Neil Druckmann says it does feel like there's one more chapter to this story. Catherine O'Hara has officially joined the cast of HBO's The Last of Us Season 2. And lastly, Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus update arrives on March 7th along with new suits. Finally, as The Rock says.
Finally, yeah, like I'm glad that it's finally happening, but it's a little too late. Like,
correct. It's pretty much half a year after the game's launched.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, would you rather have the game or New Game Plus and launch and wait, 6 more months? And it's like, I'd rather have the game. Because at this point, it's like, all right, I've platinumed the game.
Correct.
A few new suits is not going to get me there. DLC will get me there, but I don't know if we're going to get DLC, which is weird, but I don't know.
Again, with the way PlayStation is treating their exclusives, it could go either way. It could go the Uncharted Spider-Man route where they do like interquels, like short little stories, or they could still do DLC like with Ragnarok and Forbidden West, and it's like, all right, now we're gonna give out updates like a year or so after launch, and here you go. Here's a way to dive back in the game. It could go either way.
Yeah. Well, in Spider-Man 1, we did get The City That Never Sleeps.
That's true.
Which was overall pretty solid.
Yeah. I feel like they kind of rushed, though, because they announced that like right before launch, and everyone's like, and you're going to release it 3 months after the game? Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like the end of it was like, okay, but it was like some of it, like the earlier stuff was really good. And then it was just like, okay, so I'm hoping that we do get stuff. I definitely want like a Daredevil DLC. Like I think that would be super cool. Introduce him into this world and as a character and everything. Dan says, I think we're going to get a DLC based on the Fire Cult storyline. And
that was the biggest cliffhanger toward, so of the game, at least of all the side quests.
I feel like that is going to be Spider-Man 3, though. I feel like he will be a villain, if not a main villain in Spider-Man 3. Because I feel like if he's DLC, I feel like it's almost wasted potential. Unless it is like a Miles Morales kind of level of, and then it's not DLC, it's a whole nother game.
Correct.
At that point. But yeah, I wouldn't want the City Never Sleeps type DLC with that. I want something more fleshed out for sure.
Yeah.
What was the other one that I was going to say? Do you feel like, and guys, y'all chime in the chat as well, do you feel like The Last of Us has another part to it, or do you feel like it wrapped up in part 2? I haven't played part 2, so I can't speak to it.
I mean, okay. Again, we go back to the debate of you could have made an argument that we didn't need a part 2, like the way the story in part 1 told it. But I do think like because while it involved Ellie in part 1, it was more of Joel's story in part 1. Part 2 was more of Ellie's story with Joel involved. At the same time, so both sides have been told, but now it's like, where do you go from here? Like, do you make Abby the focus in part 3? Do you do other things? Like, do you still continue? Like, I don't know. Could they? Yes. My question is, will it still have the same impact? Now, again, if you give it time and you give Neil a chance to think, because Naughty Dog has earned that right. I know they kind of flubbed with the multiplayer game they were working on, and that ended up being, not happening. At the same time, they are the crown jewel in Sony's crown, and it's like Sony was gonna like, we're gonna let you do what you want at your own pace. Like, figure it out. As long as you make another banger, that's all we care about. So I guess given time, you could come up with a great story. My only thing is like, will it be worth telling?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue is like, is there a story with our main cast, or is it totally disconnected?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, there are a lot of stories within that world that could be told, but like to be a part 3, it would feel weird to be just, oh, well, the first 2 parts were these characters, and now this one has nothing to do with any of that. Because
you run the risk of like, all right, we've dipped our toes in the water too much now, because like the first one had emotional beats and significant impacts. The second one had a different turn, like it had those same things, but for a different reason, because it was going toward the story they were, like the theme of the story they were going with. I feel like if you try and figure out a theme and then try and figure out it'll start to lose its luster and lose the same thing, because it's like, all right, it just rinse and repeat with either different characters or just like a different theme that's similar to other ones we've seen before. You know what I mean? Like it's the risk of going to the well one too many times.
Yeah, and I feel like one more chapter, one more season, one more movie, like that's the feel of like any big,
Oh yeah, that was pretty much what it is. It's like when Kojima was still with Konami. And they did all these Metal Gears, like he did all these parts and then all these like interquels, and it's just like when you got to Metal Gear 5, it told this little section of story from what people have told me that was like in it, that was like cool. Don't know if I really needed that, but cool that you went back and addressed this as well. And it's like you run that risk when you're a long running franchise.
Yeah, it just feels like, oh, the show's doing really well, we need to put out another game. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like, oh, we've already put out the remaster and it's on PC, and then we just put out the second one, and it's like, then we'll port that to PC, but it's like we need another game, and it's like, just let it stand on its own and do something new. Because Naughty Dog is really good at coming up with new worlds. It's something that's interesting, and we haven't seen anything necessarily new in a while from them, and it would be nice to see something new. And I'm gonna just say it, I don't think Naughty Dog is the crown jewel anymore, because they had a game canceled.
Yes and no. How about this? They're still the crown jewel for storytelling.
They had a game canceled. You know who hadn't had a game canceled in this modern era? Santa Monica.
I was gonna say, what? You can't say that. Don't sugarcoat it just to serve your narrative, sir.
Santa Monica.
They had that space game canceled. Stop it.
Sucker Punch. Insomniac.
No, I'll give you, because I haven't, unless that I remember, they haven't had a game canceled unless they just nixed it and just didn't say it. It was like, don't you tell a soul.
Insomniac. Insomniac puts out more games than anybody. Like
ever since
them
they
and
bought
Obsidian.
It's like they've been in that sweatshop, bro. Like.
Yeah, them and Obsidian, like they're like you know, twins and just on opposite sides of the war type deal. Dan says, I was disappointed in part 2. I don't want to see a part 3. And I kind of feel that way. I haven't played part 2. I don't know if I'm, how I would necessarily feel about part 2. I know some of it and some of the things that are in it and everything, but it's like, I don't want them to just be doing it to make money. And that's what it feels like. It's like, we just got to make more money. And I know, again, at the end of the day, it is a business, all that sort of deal. So, but yeah, there we go, guys. It's time for the Patreon quick hits. The quick hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You can go support the Nerd Cave and help us continue to make awesome shows like this one. Help keep the lights and the mics on. So go over and become part of the ship, part of the crew over at patreon.com/nerdcave. Pick the tier that fits best for you. And if you don't have any money to toss, you can join our Patreon for free and see some of the cool stuff that we're putting over there. It helps us out a ton, guys. The more people we get over there, the more stuff we can do. And we appreciate all the love and support. So now it is time for the Patreon quick hits. Take it away, Derek.
So first up, Ed comes to Street Fighter 6 on February 27th. Project Gemini development looks to continue as People Can Fly secures short-term content writer. Supermassive co-founders have left the studio. Devolver Digital CEO Douglas Morin has stepped down and will be replaced by former CEO Harry Miller. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is the fastest-selling game in the Yakuza series to date. Resident Evil 4 Gold Edition will bundle all the DLC in one package. It will launch tomorrow, however, the physical launch will only happen in Europe. Obsidian says Avowed will have multiple endings. Following that, Avowed director says team is, quote, actively working on making combat more impactful. Hi-Fi Rush Datamine appears to confirm PlayStation and Switch ports. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will see Jim Carrey return as Dr. Robotnik. Another rumor, 5 Resident Evil titles currently in development. Final Fantasy XIV requires a Game Pass subscription to play on Xbox. This does not substitute your monthly subscriptions you pay for the game. You still have to pay that and make sure you have a Game Pass subscription. Rumor, Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War will feature an open world campaign. Mortal Kombat 1 Season 4 and Peacemaker will arrive in the new era on February 28th. Hogwarts Legacy officially crowned the best-selling game worldwide of 2023. WWE 2K24 gameplay trailer confirms Muhammad Ali will be playable. Rumor, Personas 2 and 4 remakes exist at Atlas, claims reliable leaker. Team Ninja says Wolong Fallen Dynasty sequel is not in the pipeline right now. Visual Concepts Austin suffers job losses. Toys for Bob is potentially shutting down as a result of Microsoft's layoffs. Following that, the FTC complains that Microsoft's 1,900 layoffs contradict what was said in the antitrust trial. A Final Fantasy VIII remake would see changes to the battle system, says director. And lastly, the latest Nintendo quarterly results reveal 20 million Zelda sales, 3 million Mario RPG sales, and more.
Toys for Bob. Why they hating on Toys for Bob?
I know, man. Like, why they just hate on Crash Bandicoot? Like, come on, man. Like,
it's like we lose Vicarious Visions under Activision.
Yep.
To help build crappy games because they're great,
right?
But, not anymore. And now Toys for Bob, and I'm just like, and I'm on side with the FTC on this. That's a good point.
It is true because
it's a good point.
And it also, because you remember how we were talking about, like, after they finished this, like, because I feel like it was like an audience question, like, oh, well, like, will they do like a big acquisition again? I feel like it's like, and we kind of were on the side of, I don't think they want to go through all these hoops again. But now this further cements, because if they ever go against the world again to do this big merger, this will not be in their favor because they'll look at this and like, hey, remember that those almost pretty much 2,000 people you laid off shortly after you finished the acquisition? You're going to pretty much do that again. You can say you're not going to, but it's going to happen again. No, we're going to block this one.
Yeah. I think Microsoft has pigeonholed itself, but in the end, do they really need to buy anybody else because they've got so many people now?
Yeah. Like their only move is to buy smaller like indie devs at this point. That's it.
Yeah. Leave indie devs alone.
Yeah,
They're the only
also
ones,
true.
they're the only ones that are making good games. Let's be honest.
Sea of Stars is the showcase.
Now, I will say, I wouldn't be too mad if Sony bought their developer, but leave them alone. If they keep making good games like that, don't ruin the system. Don't ruin the system. Well, there you go, guys. There is the show this week. We hope that you enjoyed it. This has been Zach.
And Max Mind Reach Stone.
Y'all bless week. Bye.